All right, folks. So we are going to be responding to a clip of Piers Morgan and a panel of pro-Israel and anti-Israel speakers. And this focuses on Jonathan Conricus, who is an Israeli commander and one of the most notable spokespeople for Israel. And they're going to be debating about the Iran war. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe, like the video, leave your comments. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. You can also support the channel by going to the Buy Me a Coffee link and description, Buy Me a Coffee link in the description or pinned comment. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Let's get into it.
He worked out that all they've got to do is control the Strait of Hormuz and fire off missiles and rockets at their neighboring Gulf states, and they can hold the entire global energy market literally over a barrel. And they keep doing that with impunity. You know, I woke up this morning to Donald Trump saying he's going to unleash fucking shit or hell or whatever it was, his normal, very inflammatory, abusive language. And it's like, well, the Iranians have been hearing this for 4 or 5 months. So what are you going to do? Right? You keep threatening to annihilate them one day, deal with them the next. There's this daily ridiculous dialogue almost with himself. And I know Trump well, and I'm seeing a guy who wants to get out of this desperately, can't work out a way to do it that saves face. And actually, Scott's right. Don't worry about saving face. Just get the hell out of it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, not surprisingly, my thoughts differ. I think that it would be very, very damaging for American standing. I think it would be damaging for what was referenced as the American empire. I think that weakness in one area is quickly seen and understood by enemies all around the world. And if you're weak in one area, you are deemed to be weak in another area as well. And I know this from the local micro environment of the Middle East, where we fight various enemies. If we are perceived as weak by one of our enemies, then the others will perceive us as weak as well, even if we aren't. The test case of Hamas versus Hezbollah, we were weak and unprepared to fight, and we had these whole paradigms of thought that were very defeatist and sounded very similar to the point that were made just a few minutes ago. And the enemies heard that, saw that, took notice, and they used it against us. And then the other enemies thought that, well, maybe we'll have a go at Israel as well. And Hezbollah went, and the Iranians went, and many others. The point here is that, yes, of course, wars are horrible. People die in wars. I have fought. I don't know who else on the panel has been in uniform and put themselves in harm's way, but I have fought for my country, and Israelis continue to fight for their country, not asking anybody to fight for us, unlike many other American allies who ask for Americans to be deployed in their countries. We don't. And with the current situation here, I think that it would be actually humiliating for the U.S. to do such a childish and immature and, Barbie-like kind of thing, to say, well, enough, and I'm just going home, let's forget about it. Have you ever heard of a leader say such a thing without thinking about the serious long-term consequences for the projection of force, deterrence? Think what will the Chinese say? Well, of course, the Chinese will have levers of influence over the US as well, whether it's energy, chips, manufacturing, rare earth minerals, and many other things. It'll hurt to confront the Chinese as well. It'll hurt to confront the Russians as well. So what? If you believe in something, if you listen to your enemy, and the Iranian regime is an enemy of the United States of America, they would happily kill every American.
What's your strategy for
liberals,
victory?
They would happily kill you as well if they had the opportunity to do so.
What is your strategy for victory?
That's my strategy.
That's
as
a very
Israeli
important question, Jonathan. No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. What is victory? Because if victory is supposedly preventing Iran from developing a nuclear weapon,
no,
I would say it is far more likely. Hang on. Well, that's what Donald Trump has said. That's what Donald Trump has said. Right. So let me just remind you what the President of the United States has said is the stated mission. Right, is to stop them developing a weapon. Now, hang on, Jonathan, hang on. Last time I checked, they still have control of all their enriched uranium. they are, if we are to believe that just 8 months after the 12-day war, where we supposedly put them back decades in their nuclear program, they were 2 weeks away from developing one and potentially using it immediately, then presumably that threat still applies. Now you've got the Americans saying to the Saudi Arabians, you can have a nuclear weapon if you join the Abraham Accords. If you're Iran,
you can have enrichment.
what is stopping you now?
Energy.
No.
Well,
Nuclear
okay.
energy
It's
and
the same
enrichment,
argument.
not
It's the
weapons.
same. It's the same argument about Iran. Iran says that's what they want the enriched uranium for.
It isn't,
and
Piers.
you guys have
Come on, be
perceived that to
serious.
mean
You can't compare the Saudis to the Iranian regime.
It is.
No, it isn't.
It is the
It
same
isn't.
argument.
Let's be
And
serious.
my point is this.
No, let's be serious.
My point
you
is
cannot
this,
compare
Jonathan.
them.
My point is that. Wait a minute. Let me make my point. My point is, if you're the Iranian regime and you see all this going on, and you know that 4.5 months into this war, you still have the regime intact, the Ayatollah's been replaced by his son, the IRGC are in full control, your people aren't rising up, and you can control the Strait of Hormuz, and you're causing devastating damage to the neighboring Gulf states by firing off missiles directly impacting their business model going forward. If you're aware of all these facts and you've got all your enriched uranium, and the President of the United States is saying to the Saudi Arabians, you can basically have what the Iranians have, why on earth would you have any incentive to end this?
So I'll briefly just say this. The there's a 90% inflation in Iran. Their currency is plummeting. They don't have money. There's growing unrest on Iranian streets, which isn't reported in Western media because they don't allow it to be reported. And the only thing that I think should have been done better by the president in the management of this war isn't the fact that he launched a war together. I think that is exactly what the president of the United States should have done. The only thing that I regret is that he had very odd bedfellows, whether it's Turkey, Qatar, or Pakistan, that I think have given him very poor advice. And that is a shame, because if he hadn't called off various plans that were in motion, then I think we could have been in a different situation. If he'd listened to other countries, like the Emirates, like Israel, like Jordan, like other countries, and not to basically Muslim Brotherhood.
I'm not hearing anything about what to do
Qatar
about
and
Iran
Turkey. Then I think the situation could have been much better, and the situation would have been much better, and the Iranian regime would have been brought to their knees. And finally,
this
about
is so much hot air.
First off, Jonathan may not know exactly what the plan to finish this war is, but if he does know, he may not want to divulge that on a massive media platform. The reality is that America and Israel jointly need to not only make sure that Iran can't get nuclear weapons, but they need to have a change in government, a government that is willing to align with Israel and the United States. That's really what they need to do. And the Israeli government understands that. America fundamentally understands that. But they have to be willing to accomplish that goal and do what's necessary. That's really what it comes down to. Because if they can do that, then these other proxies, like Hezbollah, the Houthis, etc., they won't have the means to continue doing what they want to do. If another country is willing to fund them, then Israel and the United States need to make sure they can't. They cannot get the funding to wage wars against Western countries. That's it. Leave your comments in on this video. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel via the Buy Me the Coffee link in the description or pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.